And we're back here, folks. Map 2 going live. Overpass. fnatic do manage to close Vertigo, and that bodes very well for them here on Overpass. NiP, I think we need to see a lot more in the gun rounds. The pistols, effective. Everything else, not so much, Alan.
And let's also keep eyes if that trend continues. What happens if, God forbid, they lose both pistols? That could be real scary.
Could be.
Very scary. Brollan tucks himself into long toilets. Headtrick's coming over to help. And he'll need to help out his teammate because Brollan could quickly get trapped here.
Headtrick, long range. Here we go. Brollan going to come forward to have the same engagement as his teammate, but this is everybody. They might not be expecting everybody from fnatic to be here. I think they've only really spotted the one. Brollan, here comes the swing. He gets the kill. Headtrick follows it up, and now this is looking very good. Timely flashbang here. Headtrick can't capitalize on that last. And so the possibility still exists that something's going to happen here, but it is a very battered fnatic to try and bring this pistol round back into whack.
Bomb was spotted. That's why Alexi's now playing off B short a little bit. Because he's confident that nobody is going to be super close. It'd be really nice if fnatic could get these P250s and at least extend the range so they can take a decent duel. Must be one around on the floor here somewhere. Smoke 2. Here we go. They need to take down Rez very quickly here. They can't allow another player to die.
Headshots are bust, pretty much. There's the headshot. There's the bust. So now, right? Here's the next to follow. So it was both. It wasn't headshots or bust. It was headshot and bust.
Yeah, we're not going to learn what happens yet. NIB don't win a pistol, nor convert it very likely, because I don't think fnatic are going to be investing into this one. Nope. Heavy eco. That was really... That took a long time for those fnatic players to kill Brollan in the long toilets. There must have been a lot of missed shots. That just allowed... Headrick could just take 3 fights. Just kept peeking. Kept peeking, so... The 1-2 punch worked all too well, and from there... Very much we're going to struggle. One flash on Mr. Nikodos. If they do head in soon, it is only config on the site proper, so he could get a little bit isolated.
It's a world where you get a bomb plant. Roy has now found contact, so if they were ever going to go, now would be the moment to go. Now would be the moment to go. There it is. There's the flashbang. Does it catch? No, not really. And counter utility is available here. Config still deleted. A little awkward, but Rez is able to bring this well under control. Money made.
Yeah, and collects the M4, so it's not a massive loss. Could even... I'd like to see an AWP here, I think, onto Headtrick. And that'd be excellent this sort of round. It's going to be Mr. Rez. Timeout for NiP. You'd assume this is more of a technical nature. You don't need to pause this early. First 2 rounds have gone pretty well. But, let's see what Rez buys. I'd really like him to drop the AWP, because it might be a tad unexpected too. There it is. Beautiful. It's really fnatic's CT side where they come alive on Overpass. So let's see just how strong the offense can be from them. It's never been bad, but it's their CT side that grants them such a high win percentage even against top teams. See if they've made any tweaks, any adjustments to bring it in line.
Boost. Boosty boost. Messi's been spotted. He doesn't know. How long do they maintain this? They're hoping for someone else to rotate in, and they're absolutely going to get it. There's Fasha spotted. An audio cue just went out, but they're going to be able to react in time. So this is working out for NiP. The boost, very much what the doctor ordered. But Messi, he's got a double dose. double dose of headshots. Bomb almost certainly going down here. Alexi B's position is going to become very impactful, but a late play out of the connector could leave him exposed. He's watching for it. Seems to have a read that Roy might be here, but this bomb, it's down. That's a huge kill to find for Alexi. Now they know the threat exists of construction. They can't comfortably move off the site. A smoke has to be committed to it. Head trick in heaven. Nicodel's looking for this duel. No one's watching Brolan just walk up the sidewalk, though, and Brolan will do it all himself.
That could not have gone any better.
No.
I thought Brolan was in water, in pit, just hiding, but he wasn't. He was creeping up bridge, completely unsighted. Nade they had so many nades that they never needed to use because the afterplant never got extended. Wow, all of Fnatic's, all of Mezzi's, I guess, work in particular for nothing. Great pair of headshots, but the retake's too much as Brolan exacts revenge on his former team.
For that fight early, Brolan might just give it to him. But it's head trick instead to catch the kill out towards long. So Roy, as a solo player towards the A side of the map, he's down, he's done, he's dusted. Fnatic looking to crack in towards this B site, but it's heavy defense here on Monster, right? You got two players just committed to it. You got Alexi B to support with util as well. This is a very strong setup for NiP.
Gotta catch config. Gotta win the first duel. It's not gonna be. The spray down is good. And now, surely Alexi's all the nades in the world lined up. Flash is there. No chance for these guys. That setup worked to perfection in the end.
That's the ideal. I mean, really, it's probably just supposed to be, a Rez and LXCB playing off of config. But if config just kills two before that even has to happen, I mean, it doesn't get much better. It really doesn't get much better if you're NiP.
I was a little scared the config was going to get caught in transition because I think he was moving to the left side of Monster, but he made good on it. And Fnatic not getting a lot of bomb plants out of these last few rounds. This is going to be a half buy. Got a fair amount of nades, but only down to one smoke now after these default nades.
They've had one bomb plant, I believe.
Yeah, the one that Brolan retook.
Instantly. So let's see what they've got. That's a really nice bit of early aggression. Fasha just caught. That has the bomb as well, so that confirms things. It means that they're going to be very comfortable keeping 3 on. And meanwhile, these rifles are going to push the periphery. Brolan finds contact in towards the playground. Takes that kill, eliminates the options here for Fnatic, and again, NiP are just completely controlling this. Yes, this was just a force buy. Yes, this was just Tech9s, but it's the manner in which NiP are asserting themselves early on to these engagements that just limits what Fnatic can even consider doing. What do you do here as a coach if you're just getting bullied and not able to put your game plans into action here, Alan?
They haven't run a default yet, which might be handy. What actually kind of happened on the last gun round is Roy was pressuring A so much because they wanted to hit B early with the remaining 4. But they never got a window. They never went through the monster smoke. I think they just need to A default, take some map control off NiP and actually play an extended round. A couple kills here would also be very nice, but less and less and less likely by the second. And the most unlikely kill of all, perhaps, is the one that actually comes in.
Still one at this point. Hardly going to be something to cry over for NiP. They've got a little bit of cash flow. Just a smidge. Rifles out here. Timeout can be used early from Fnatic, as they need to start getting some impact on the board. Kita in their comms, talking this one through.
I'd be very surprised if it isn't some sort of A default. Some sort of play for map control, could go double connector. But you do get to a point where you just feel frustrated because we haven't We haven't played out a standard round yet. I can whittle
You know,
away a bit. There's an AWP on Nikodos, so that's pretty handy for holding any early A peaks or someone fast up long. And then when you get the map control, you can take long and hold angles and help work toilets. So it provides a lot of utility. And I think I'm on the money. Plenty of players leaning towards A at the start.
you know, one of the things that's been interesting as connector control has been fully taken here. We got a chance over in NA to talk to Semphis, the coach announced at one point. One of the things he mentioned is that with the RMR coming up, the way they'd been practicing is he'd been limiting his involvement since with Val's rule set on the RMRs, the coaches can only talk during tax. So he had been trying to play like that, and I do wonder whether other teams boot camping, you know, ahead of the RMRs, obviously going to be the most important event on the calendar, whether they might be adopting a similar
Did he say that
approach.
for officials too?
Yeah, he was saying he was doing it for officials. Oh, peek in, head trick. Going to get caught. Finally, a little bit of a trade here. Rez still took Roy out of play, but a 1-for-1 is about as good as one of these has started for Fnatic.
Calling that the AWP is also down. They're much less scared now to start contacting up Mezzy. Drop peaks, Brolan down, and now it's just Alexi. Shadow advantage is good. The flashbang from his teammate looks reasonably effective, but Mezzy comes out of it just in time. Bomb is planted. We've got a re-smoke as well. Gonna put behind defaults, help him move around. And these two still look like they're gonna give it a look in. There's a lot of money here. Crims is a long way off. There is a smoke for the bomb. Still a chance here for NiP.
Config get caught. Config's about to get caught. All right, so clean sweep, Fnatic. It's a good way to get on the board. Obviously, there will be no issues for NiP investing back into this, but if you're going to do it, if you're going to break down a built-up defense, this is the way to start. So,
Gotta build behind it. Can't lose this one now. What is the call? What is the call, Mr. Mezzy? We going A again? We going to expect an A lean, perhaps, from NiP? And head elsewhere? Looks for the moment like a 2 connector. Nikodos is sprinting. This is so early. Hetrick is on the angle. Who's going to peek first?
who flinches? Who gets a flash? Oh, Nikodos will get a tag, but Basher's up the flank, and Brolan has no idea. Eyes glued up top. It's down below that he needs to worry about. That puts Headtrick in a bit of trouble. That's the shadow advantage, but the shot's faded out. That's a nice bit of micro from Roy, and now the kills come through. This is over. Realistically, the money's not there anymore for NiP. CT side, tough to maintain. And this bomb's going down. And Fnatic, what a way to explode into this game. Reminiscent of Vertigo now. They've got their feet under them. NiP can't allow another crazy round of rounds.
Likely asking each other, guys, why didn't we just go A earlier on? This is so much easier. We just walk right onto the bomb site there. Heads up right in our crosshairs whenever we peek. But no. Nikodos probably should have died. But by virtue of staying alive, he took Hetrick off the angle. That's why Brolan readjusts. He's scared of players swinging up from balloons. And Fasher must have been incredibly silent in towards connector for a long time to get that timing. So, good mid-rounding. One missed shot from Hetrick onto Roy. Didn't really help, but I think he was going to get traded whatever happened. And Roy just carried on going. Sprinted in. Second collected. Red carpet rolled out. And Fnatic collected their Oscar right on the A-bomb site.
I'm now picturing Mezzy in a gown. Mezzy, who are you wearing today? Yeah, I think this is Razor. I actually don't know who Fnatic sponsors are.
I think it might be Gucci. Don't.
Well, there you go.
I need to check. Because I know a funny one. I know that they got a clothing sponsor, and Crims wasn't super happy that you had to only wear the clothing sponsor in and around events.
Interesting.
Which I thought was very funny.
Crims wanted to wear furs and the blood of his enemy. They did not have that in stock.
ASOS is their lead sponsor. But ASOS is more of a kind of
You're just clad
mid-range sort of clothing.
I'm sure they'd make a
why
red
doesn't he just
carpet
embrace
dress.
the Viking? We need some horns, some wolf or bear skin or something, and the blood of his enemies.
Nice early pick there for Rez. That is just Roy. And here's the thing. You can see how comfortable NiP are holding on to this space, because when it's just Roy towards the side of the map early on, everybody's here towards Monster, and Brolan knows. Brolan is so very ready. Oh no, this is disaster for Fnatic. Pistols on the other side, and they just can't even see anybody. Nikodol is potentially about to be flanked out. Config's taken all of this space. This is disastrous. There's a path up connector, but that is the only viable path realistically in this round. A boost up from Brolan on the spot just in time, but Fasher a bit quicker on the trigger. Still, this is going to draw Config ever closer on the flank. They got to accelerate now. They got to accelerate. Otherwise, disaster might be on deck. They might have just gotten ahead of this. The kills are coming through. Fasher is recovering this, and at some point, they're going to look behind. Config, he's so slow into this. Nikodos has an idea. Now he knows. Now he knows. Recovery is the name of the game here. Fasher and Nikodos are doing an incredible job of it. Nico gotta get the critical kill, and somehow, some way, Fnatic pull that out.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. That should have been, as mentioned, a catastrophe.
It was a 5-on-2.
Fasher peeks B short, collects the first. He's boosted up in towards CT. ABC, whatever you want to call it. And then almost dies to a player in the crack angle in the pit. Comes back, kills him, collects another. Config. Oh, 1 second earlier, and I think the flank works super well. Roland. Good flash. Nikodos hits the deck early on. So another entry for NiP, and this time especially given full weaponry. No mistakes. Cannot drop the ball again like we did last time.
Trying to bait a response. They're trying to bait something out, an overextension again to allow Fnatic back into this, but NiP aren't giving it to them this time. They maybe want a bit of a monster fight, but even then they're a bit timid about it. There's no flank being pushed here, right? They're sitting, letting the play develop. Got the advantage. You don't need to make the move. That's the way NiP feel.
When does Brolan activate? He's close long. He's starting to shift out now, and he sees everything. There's nobody here. At least towards the playground side of A. He's going to clear up this mid area out towards Divider. And Hetrick soon will get the gist and lean over with his teammates. 4 in defense. Fnatic need a miracle.
They're so stalled. 20 seconds. I mean, the utility's not even that great. Now the initiative gets taken from the other side. The bomb's down. You can't win this on time. You can't win this on the clock alone. This round's over. It's all in the Crims, and he needs to die, and he will do so. That's disastrous. Fnatic, it's interesting to see, Alan, but when they go for these B plays, right, it feels like they're so stagnant. They get caught outside of B with 4 players, and if the lurk goes down on the other side of the map, they have nothing. They have no rotate. They have no control. It's just a very, very telegraphed play.
Some credit to Brolan. He did allot them that information, but you are right. There hasn't been any short explosions, which have the 2 avenues onto B is the one that's always going to have less utility from the CT side onto it. So it's normally an open route. It's a harder fight, but at least you can get out. And Well, the one round they did try to go through the Monster Smoke is when Brolan got the 2K with the 5-7. So, yeah. I'm just surprised we're not having more AD faults. We keep doing these rounds where we leave Roy on his own to try and poke and prod, or maybe it's Nikodos. And they don't quite have the numbers to always get a trade or always have the utility. And the AD faults were their best rounds. Let's have more of them.
Looking for a duel here. Head trick. Not quite going to have it, but they don't realize Brolan's out by the fountain. So right down again. Oh, Alexi B shutting things down in Con. This is looking very good for NiP now. Again, all of the early exchanges going the way of the Niñas. And at this point, what do you even do? Krems, Nico, you're both very isolated from each other. Basically operating as solo units. Again, NiP are being very cautious not to overextend here. They lose two 2v5s in a map. Pretty sure DJL gets to whack them all with the stop peeking stick.
Going to take a lot of overfacing to turn this round back. Head trick is the first. Ooh, Crims. Gets another. They know where config is. But they don't. I don't think they expect Alexis to still be here. They have to hard clear. This knife is out for Crims, and that is a nightmare. Time is also a massive problem. Even if this kill comes in. Surely not.
The money would matter, though. If more damage can come through, Nico, he's fumbling the util. Config's up on top of the box. There's no way. There's no way at this point.
He's missing.
And he's missing shots.
Yeah.
Panic in Nikodos down. I mean, you cannot miss that many shots as a primary opper. Oh, that hurts. That hurts the hearts of Fnatic fans everywhere.
It's getting grisly. A aggression from NiP. AWP is shown. Roy tries to swing to gain ground as the AWP falls back. He's not ready for a player fountain. Seeing too aggressive on A. Fnatic think that's probably everybody on A. So they're going to try and take space in connector. And that was the first round where NiP have played 3A. Alexi B was in connector. And they were not ready whatsoever. So a lot of different looks from NiP. And Fnatic, they're trying to be proactive. But they just cannot get a read on the CT side. Brolan has been endlessly aggressive on A. And is yet, at least in the last few rounds, to be punished.
There's an opener again for NiP. Shown we're not expecting much from, but Hedge. It's good to have him fine in the first. "45 seconds ticking down on the clock. Time is going to be short again. They got no utility for this, so at some point they're just going to have to try and kick down the door with the guns. Seems like it's going to be towards A. They've shown presence.
Okay, they're going to try and boost him.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Send the pistols in first. Try and let Nikodos trade. It feels like the best chance you got.
Up shot missed. Opportunity here, but they can't kill Brolan, and so opportunity is gone. And now, the most important thing is maybe dying in timely fashion.
Big round. Big round for Fnatic just to stabilize. I'm not surprised they're 3 pauses in now. After only 11 played. And of course, some of those are the pistol and the eco. So, not a great deal of gun rounds. Discussion is in. They can't keep losing early kills on A. It's just unsustainable. You'd be better off trying to force out something on B with 5 alive and hoping you get some luck with the flashes and the timings. It'd be better than continual 4-on-5s. So we'll see what the move is. Do we go back to A? Do we go in more numbers? Do we just fake A little bit and try and get out onto B in a good position? Tough choices for Mezzy. Of course, Keita will be chiming in that timeout, I'm sure. But we've got to change something. Got to change the formula for sure.
Clock big. Finds an opener. Again, things just going the way. NiP Fasha gonna face. This is a boost up, ready to find him. Double man down. No control towards connector. No control outside of B. Another dire situation for Fnatic, and we're 30 seconds into the round. This has been just commanding from NiP, and if Brolan continues on this flank, he might just find the bomb. If that happens, it's game over. He's got it. He's got the C4.
No.
He's got the C4. He's about to have Mezzy as well. He is everything. He sees everything. Massive control. These positions for Roy and Nikodos, they do not matter. You can take the site as many times as you want. It's not going to change how this round plays out. And Nikodos, he's now the only one who could even do that. So they give him B. Say, guys, I've got B. Oh, guys, where did everybody go?
Where's the bomb?
What's happened? Oh, no. Oh, no. One kill. That starts a very, very, very long road to recovery, and I think with 30 seconds to walk down it, it's just not a possibility.
He's not going to know where to save because he knows they've lost all the T-spawn. Rez is here on the angle, unchecked. And Fnatic take their pause, presumably talked about what wasn't working, and then go into probably the most decisive round yet. That is catastrophic. It looked like Crims was just full-on spammed. I don't know if he shedded any bullets through first, which, you know, alerted config of where to spray, perhaps. Fasha, door was blown on connector, and he walked straight up into the boost. Couldn't have started any worse that round and never got better.
I do want to ask you, Alan, since I think we've got a little bit of time in this one. It's interesting, suddenly. I feel like, yes, there have been mistakes for Fnatic. Yes, they're being pressured and flustered. We've had some misses and opportunities that went away. But to me, this half is much more about NiP being very impressive. I mean, even with the wobble of losing the 2v5, we've seen incredibly decisive play. We've seen a lot of map control exerted in most rounds. We've seen the initiative taken on the opening fights, and most of those duels won. I mean, this is not looking like the same NiP that we just watched on Vertigo.
Much more proactive. It's a map where, so of course well, actually it's a very good comparison because we've got the same A site players as Vertigo. Plays very differently to A ramp. There's A site Overpass. There's a lot more opportunities. You're not going to get punished as easily. You can stay individually aggressive. It's just the Rifler or even the AWP, but more likely just Brolan. And it's worked a whole lot better. They haven't, of course, on Vertigo, we saw some rounds where they overpushed the ramp and they got punished and they lose a lot of control. That hasn't happened yet. Brolan, I don't think Brolan has lost the duel aggressively on A yet. And Fnatic cannot live with him. They cannot live with him. Hedrick is there as a supporting element. Rez is killing everybody on B. It's a nightmare.
Absolutely is. Let's see if Fnatic can wake up from this nightmare. 5 rounds would be enough to make a game of it. But no more room for errors if that's what they're going to have. Flashbang's over. Headtrick looking for the early fight. Lexi B in towards Khan. Could be bringing the action. No damage just yet, which means that a lot could hinge on Alexi B. Molotov to chase him out. They hear the tick as well. Nade will be the little stinger on the end of it. But they know they've cleared out some space in towards connector. So now the element of the rotations can come into play. You get a lot less information for NiP. They're first further back towards the site. You can see the adjustment. They're shifting back in that A play because they can't comfortably stay forward. They don't have vision towards long. They don't have vision con. And with that, they'll withdraw a little bit further into their shell.
Big changes this round for Fnatic. We had similar spread But instead, Crims comes out into B short, make sure nobody's boosting. That's when Fascist starts going forward. A very slow A default in case there was aggression. So this is Fnatic's answer. Is going to slow down so much and be so clinical as to not allow any more easy opportunities. So thankfully, it kind of has worked. They've survived into the mid round, coming up to the late round with 5 alive. And NiP, right now, are leaning the wrong way. Only 2 on B.
Explode around. Fasha, he's got one. Oh, and Roy, he didn't even have to see the player on the storm drain. Roy catches it. Was worried that was going to be an overlook. But as it is, the bomb's now going down, and NiP, they've got all the money in the world. Only 2 rounds to play in, so of course they're going to go for this retake, and Brolan will start it off well. He's still so very lethal. The problem is they don't have the second element. Alexi B is around the world. He can't get involved in this by the time it matters. I don't believe he can even get involved by the time that
he is really trying.
This is brutal. They need the kills. They're running out of time. Brolan down. That should end it. That should end the possibility here. Head trick posturing like he wants to back out. They're going to try and just keep the guns. They want to contain them towards the bomb. They want to make this as expensive as possible for Fnatic, and they've done a great job of that.
Okay. Well, NiP, probably the first time in the half, they've made a bit of a misread. They had 3 on A, and there wasn't a great deal of A pressure from Fnatic. Clearly expected. I guess Fnatic has lost a lot of B rounds, so can't entirely blame them. It happens. But Fnatic did choose the right avenue this time. Flashes were good. Halving was good. 2 NiP players absolutely blindsided by that number of offensive elements coming out of the B short area. And we get into round 15. 2-2-1 default from Fnatic. Only Brolan is on A, as it's NiP to switch gears. 4B start. I guess they really anticipated some B aggression coming out, but it's not to be. And we'll see how they adjust once they realize that A is ceding a lot of turf right now.
Very vulnerable. Alexi B is going to start to float, but no, he's sticking around for a little more panel spam. Thought he was going to shift already. They're confident. They're confident in this B setup, and I'm not quite sure what they've seen to make them so. Finally, Alexi B will shift up, but he was loath to give this up. To be fair, in these rounds where Fnatic stall for the first minute, it has frequently ended B. It's just not going to be the case this time. Timely aggression outside of Monster. Crims is just giving it the slip, though. Oh, who's going to catch who here?
Oh, the timing.
Crims shifting into construction. The Molotov's going to force him back, and that's going to be the key piece. So head tricks Molly is timely to get them that kill, and now they realize that was just a lurker. It's all in towards A. Fnatic need to accelerate before these rotations are solidified. And here comes the hit. First contact going to be so important. Brolan on top of the dice block. He is controlling everything. Phenomenal play continuing, and as he goes up, that might be a bit too much to ask, but it's just Nikodos now, and there's no world where he's bringing that round through. 11 rounds. NiP send us to the half. Pistol round on the cards here, and a pistol round that Fnatic really could use. Haven't had a whole lot of luck with those. Have they, Alan?
No. Day late and $1 short every time. But this time, we've got 2 pairs of Julies.
Bloody.
One on Roge. He's going to go massive. He'll go massive on the retake. They're not coming soon.
I was going to say, no one's here.
I've read a crystal ball, and there will be Julie kills.
All right. But will they be from Crims, or will they be from Roy?
Who can say?
Crims gets contact, and they realize that this means there's not likely to be anyone here. All right, it's not going to be from Crims. Tell you that much. Asher, now in a tough spot, wants to make sure he's not getting wrapped, and indeed he is. Roy's pushing the flank, but was he heard? Config's here in Con. This position's going to get very cheeky when we get into the late round. He hasn't had to reveal himself just yet, so they've completely discounted the possibility. And now the door opens. Now they know, but that's going to hold them up. Fnatic have to get into this retake quicker than that. Head trick, a big kill. Here's the dualies. Time for them to get activated. Roy finding kills. Needs it. And they're everywhere. Roy's just going to stick this. Why not? There's not positioning for this fight. There's not positioning to get him off the defuse. They have to fight forward. And this is going to be a disaster. Oh, no. Fnatic. They just didn't plan for their post position.
Don't trust the tea
sorry,
leaves.
NiP didn't.
Don't trust the tea leaves. I knew Roy was going to win the round, Mike. I just got it a bit off. It was from sticking in the bomb. From being committed.
I mean, look. Omens are hard to read. The spirits speak in mysterious ways. I understand. That's a tough one for NiP.
I guess we're debating a buy. I think they should. It's very strong on Overpass. Get AKs out, walk mid perhaps, or contact B. It's pretty hard for the CDs to hold. They don't have the M4s in the right place. Here it comes. Head trick. I toss that over to Brolan. Seems like the right man for the job, doesn't it? Maybe give another to Rez. That'd be nice too, I think.
He's not going to be able to get armor, though.
Okay, so Rez has dropped another. I think there's another on the ground. That goes to Config. Well, I guess you got it on your aggressive rifle, so it does make a fair amount of sense. And let's have a look. What do they choose to go in for? They'll know it's no AWP. That helps a lot with being favourable for some sort of contact. And they're both... Actually, Brolan's over towards B. It's just Config here on A. He's clearing this out. And is Brolan going to seek out a duel on B short? Surely he'd love to on this.
Crazy that they're leaving one of those rifles just solo dolo. But he's going to have a cheeky bit of positioning. Can control this, get information later on in. They might be able to activate off of it. Crims looks like he wants vision on the smoke fade, perhaps. But for now, he's just playing close to the tunnel in case they come through on a burst. Not gonna have it just yet. Indecision for NiP. Run around in the playground.
They got time.
Sure,
I mean, Fnatic is so passive. It's not really a big deal. It's not like they're ceding any ground particularly. I think I just like to see these AKs in the same place. Try and work together. Hedrick is having a poke and a prod. And I think Roy is actually facing, so I'll see if Hedrick can do some damage.
Interesting posturing with the MP9s. Here they go. 2 in the same position. It's a strong spot. The SMGs, they chew through you. Too many bullets down range at once. You just can't deal with that fire rate. And this one's fallen by the wayside. Alexi B alone. No armor. A bomb. 20 seconds. And in that time, he needs to find himself an honorable death. So that he can pass on. Exactly what he's going to try and do. Making a fast run of this. Just going to try and force out the plant. This would be a miracle. And it won't be one he's allowed.
Most important round of the map so far for Fnatic. So easy to slip up against those sort of buys. And they keep 5 alive in the end. NiP worked very, very hard to try and get a long-range duel. And they just couldn't pull one out. So in the end, they pop B. And in some senses, They took the only engagement where the MP9 might be favored over an AK. Really up close. fnatic did well to avoid any flashes. And now they're feeling a lot more comfortable. It was a scary first half. It was brutal. They could never get any traction. By breaking the pistol around Goose Egg, feeling a bit rosier.
A whole lot, yeah. Right finds the first. A good old rifle on deagle fight. Gonna get another one, perhaps. Been on the clock. Bomb shifting over towards B. NiP, they have a single remaining flashbang, so they might just go for an explode over monster type of play. See if they can't overwhelm these players. It's going to set up another opportunity for Crims to farm up some cash with that MP9. Opportunity I'm sure he's very eager for. And with 45 seconds and a smoke down as well, it's going to stall NiP out further. There's not going to be a lot of time when they do eventually go for this play. Not really sure there's a second option. I suppose if Ray got a, or Roy, Rez, sorry, buddy, one of these players got a kill instantly on towards A, maybe they'd consider the rotate, but even now, time's not there for it. Rez does get that kill, but they can't bail out, and the spot here means that these B players aren't going to flinch. Kill on, MP9 comes into activation, and this round is over. Rez can't even make any further noise. Crims makes himself some extra smackaroos.
Excellent. Start off for fnatic. Here come the guns. Orb onto Nikodos. Yet to really get involved on the CT side. On the, well, both sides really, but in the match in general just yet. Roy. A player here for fnatic. Yet again, another site where it's the same positions they played on Flames. So we should expect a good helping of synergy between Roy and Nikodos. They played a lot of maps in these spots.
Interesting smoke. It leaves a big old gap. I don't think it really does much of anything. I guess it blocks boost vision. Raz has been spotted here, taking a tiny bit of chip damage, but it's a heavy connector presence. And how long are Roy and Mezzy going to want to maintain this? Roland's going looking from down below. Roy gets the kill. That's a big one.
There's nobody else on B. There's nobody else on B, so he just escapes. They might expect Mezzy. Mezzy's the rotator. So they might think Roy was the only player. Side of the map, the flash is good. Mezzy collects. There's nobody down bottom connector either to actually pinch him. Absolutely contained now, NiP. Look at the push for as well from Roy. He's deep T monster. fnatic have loaded up this A bomb site and then some. Super strong defense.
And we got no time. It's a save. It's 10 seconds. They're not even going to go through with this. NiP are not going to go through with this, so they'll get a rinse repeat of this round, I suppose, but it's not exactly an ideal situation to be in because two of your players, well, I guess they could actually just force around this. The loss bonus
I think they kind of need to, don't they? If it was two saves, you might sort of hang it out and say it's half by, hope you get a plant, but you got to. The problem is actually the head trick and Rez and Config can't get full nades. Config's only going to have a flashbang. Thank God the others have got a fair helping of smokes. Last pause is in for NiP.
Yeah.
Last pause in a map where they smashed the CT side 11-4. So you can really tell this map has taken a swift turn since the half swap.
I think
big calls for Alexi. Really big calls.
It's all on him now, right? You're not going to be able to have that same input from DJL. So I think the big issue here is if they lose this, if Fnatic draw it up tie, you're not going to have that ability to pump the brakes anymore. It's all going to be about the mental. Deep Molotov just limits playground. That's working out very nicely. Funnels them in towards Mezzy. It's what he wanted. And he gets what he wanted. Oh, a duel here with the op. Nikodas comes out on top. Got to be careful not to get caught. He doesn't realize. He does not realize Config's so far out, but a reposition is timely. Doesn't necessarily have support, but as he withdraws in towards Con, doesn't necessarily need it either. And it's all falling apart. NiP getting nothing out of this force buy, getting nothing out of this round. They are on the back foot. They are massively stifled right off the rip. And for Fnatic, I mean, it's clean as can be. They've never even allowed a chance for NiP to shoot back, much less do damage. There you go, Rez. Need a little bit of magic to make this happen, and they're not going to get it.
Did you see his Crims there scrambling to get an AK off the ground? Didn't quite make it.
The poor guy has been stuck on that MP9 for
He's not too bad because now
rounds.
he actually is it's a heavy eco now, so it's quite a good gun. But he's a little bit dejected. Pause from Fnatic?
That's interesting. Their last pause as well. Why? Why? Why?
They were 5 alive, right? So someone kind of ran off to the toilet. That's normally the normal reason. I don't know what's going on, Mike. They're just using them willy-nilly. This is not good RMR practice, using pauses like this.
Gentleman's agreement. No one pauses for the rest of this map.
Right. Well.
That's... Sure, fine, I guess. I'm very confused. If Fnatic get into a situation where they really needed a little extra time towards the end, we'll look back on this less than favorably. But so far, off the half, it's been 5 rounds. So, see if they can just keep it going here.
Ooh.
Basher will try and do exactly that. To great effect. Bomb already found. This round looking disastrous, and he's away from the flashbang as well. So Lexi B can't catch that. The C4 can be retrieved, but nades are going to chase this out. Whittle down Lexi, and I mean, you've got nothing giving you any sort of edge into this round now. Fasher wants it back. He wants that bomb. So now the utility's even gone. There's no more flashes to try and reclaim. There's just config for desperation's sake. And this is a non-starter. This is another round where nothing's doing for NiP, where they've got nothing to show us from this T side.
Don't say I didn't warn you that Fnatic favoured the CT side. They're very good at this CT side. Know exactly how to react. And the wheels have come off NiP. It's the same on Vertigo. Half flipped, they go onto the T side. That time they had pistol and conversion, which helped a lot. But they still lost a big chunk of rounds on Vertigo, so not the best appraisal yet of Alexi's calling. Not to say it's his fault, but he's the man best positioned to turn the tides. Fasher with 4. Individuals starting to warm up too for the Fnatic side. They got really low ADR given this game is about to be tied up. So, been a bit of a meat grinder. And onwards we go. Onwards we go. Brolan has to be your most powerful weapon. He's normally the spearhead. I think he still is towards A. And it's all about getting into good fights. Let Brolan go to work. That can be your avenue.
Let Brolan work. Put a tie on him. Give him a little bowler hat. Maybe a briefcase. Business, Brolan. Right, aggressive here in the playground. Config, how can I figure it out in time? Find the head as well, so an advantage here for NiP. Roy wanted to mix things up, wanted to get hyper aggressive with it, and comes up worse for the wear. Connector control going to be the next object of intention here. Nikodas with the op. This is a tricky fight with that AWP. Pushing out a little bit of space, but the pinch is going to come in here, and he's down for the count. And now, Fnatic. Looking so good for so long, and not so much anymore.
Time to gamble, isn't it? Stack a sight. Maybe let one player get super aggressive. Mezzy's just jump spotting on A for now. And NiP are playing it right. They're not all 5 on one site. Config can either go early and try and get information, or he can wait. He's going to go in front. Molly is down. Mezzi has to win this, and he does not. Config claims A. NiP going to reverse.
They're headed into the
They're
reinforced
going to let him
site,
flank. They're going to let him flank instead.
Yeah, Config's going to have the Tarek opportunity, and I mean, there might just not be anyone left alive by the time this happens, so you hardly need the big play. You just need the most basic of kills, and they're bringing the bomb up. They're not even wasting the time with it. They're not even adding that element of risk. 15 seconds, but time enough to plant, and that's all that matters. For Fasher, damage is important, right? If he can find kills on towards this T side, he can limit that economy going forward. Lexi B doesn't want to give him it. He hears Fasher stomping around here, accelerating. Fasher out towards long. This is an interesting way to approach this. They will have heard him for most of it. I think they should have a pretty good idea, and Hedrick is indeed coming to check. Not going to miss that. Not going to miss that opportunity. So, NiP around, much needed to keep fnatic from closing this gap entirely, but there's more work to do. Business Broland needs another day in the office.
Yeah, he's changed spots. He's now the B player, I think. Config is the A player. I'm pretty sure he would have played there for Astralis. Likely Complexity 2. On other maps, it looks like Config has not retained his spots from Astralis, so this is a bit of an outlier. Config and Broland, very similar players on the T side. It's a bit of a role clash. Did Nikodos actually get a tag there, or was that the Molly? Either way, 3A start from fnatic. 2 loaded up in Connector. Nikodos taken off by the flashes, but there's still these 2 players in Connector. And when do they activate? When do they get in? Nikodos connects.
There you go, the isolated player, Config. Down, done, and dusted. That was a footstep from Roy.
This is really aggressive.
Pressure on. Roy's good for it. Roy's good for it. And now that's going to pull them back. And meanwhile, look at all this vision that Nikodos is gaining. Nobody's here. Oh, there's no world. There's no world. Oh, Nikodos! Nikodos! Too far forward. Too far forward. He gets chased down. He thought he had all the room in the world to rumble, but had no idea the late rotation was coming in. So now this gets weird. Push up from Con still a risk. They can't rotate back towards B because they know the threat's up the ladder. Gotta take the site. 30 seconds. They don't have Alexi B with them. And with that kill found now, they know. fnatic should know exactly where this is going to finish. 20 seconds. It almost seems like they're going to concede the plant. That's a possibility, though. Roy on the angle wants to deny, and they'll pay the price for it. Grims, does he want to test this? Distraction is there, but Rez is so good! He's not missing much right now. And a fighting towards Bank will give them a position to defend from Fasher. At risk of getting caught. Make his way up the dumpster side, and he's going to be hunted down. Rez! Making it all happen here. All on Mezzi. Such a strong position to play from in the post plant. Utility now to push him off of it. A counter made means they know he's not sticking. Mezzi just gonna try. The molly didn't actually land on it. Yeah, he keeps getting pulled off. They're not even peeking. He's getting baited away. He'll at least deny the ace to Rez, but he can't win the round. He cannot win the round. He'll make sure no guns get taken through. But it is gonna be a round all on the board for NiP.
Rez saves them. First kill onto Roy is magnificent. How does he kill Crims? You can see him. He just flicked off the need to look up to the stairs and somehow gets back before Crims can kill him. Or Crims can kill the bomb planter. Either way. fnatic, a massive advantage. Nikodos is caught in transition. Maybe it'd be better to just stick into long and just hold an angle onto Birthday and then just play off information. fnatic could have sat on their laurels a little bit more. Nikodos has not had the best game so far. Misses the connection. Fortunately, Roy proving to be more potent. 5-on-4 now for fnatic. But Nikodos and his teammate are opting to still stay aggressive. This could get scary.
Losing Roy and Con. This is so tough. Nico can't get away. He knows it. He's up the creek, and now they're going to need a big play from Mezzi. And Mezzi.
Bomb.
Oh. Oh, that could be a problem, Alan. That could be a problem. Does Crims have vision on it? He does. He does. He knows. He sees it. He hears these footsteps. Config making all the noise in the world as he comes through. Still gets the kill. Config. Oh no. That could have been the round. Config had to win it, and he does.
Still
Crims
could
is gonna
be. Still
so
could be if
frustrated by
it
that.
doesn't go long. Okay, good call from Config to understand that connector is open. I'm surprised Fasher hasn't activated already. Hedrick's holding. This is crumbling. It's absolutely crumbling.
I mean, at this point, Messi probably needs to consider the save. He's realized it just in the nick of time as well. He's looked at the money and said, yeah, can't do this. Can't do this. All this run back, it's all for naught. I mean, his last 2 rounds have been touch and go at best. Early advantages for Fnatic, but they can't capitalize. And I mean, you have to be so frustrated if you're Crims right now. That was the round. That was the round. If you kill Config, it's over. There's not enough time for NiP to do anything about it.
I was quite stunned by how aggressively Nikodos was fighting. That was 5-on-3 for a few brief seconds, and then Rez just swings up into Birthday. As Roy is trying to fall. I don't know. Something doesn't look right on that A-bomb site at the moment. Finding some kills, but the balance between being passive and aggressive, especially for Nikodos, it's not harmonious right now. Certainly not. And that bank account for Fnatic is gone. They had so much runway off the back of their streak of rounds, but this is last chance saloon. If you lose this without saves, you have a horrid buy up against 15 for NiP. Fnatic had this game in the palm of their hands in the early stage of the CD side, and they need to get back into that form.
All plucking. Nikodos not had the best of luck, and now he's going to back away. Problem as well this time is just that, I mean, there's not going to be the same kind of utility to play with early on. They threw a toss out towards Fountain. They're a little limited. Roy and Nikodos. Couple smokes, couple flashes. Something to work with for sure.
You can see what getting punished in the previous has done to the A-site approach from Fnatic. So much more passive. Sitting all the way back. Nikodos holding in towards Divider from Toilets. He might give Toilets a little bit of a peek and is letting Roy jump spot. We're playing reactive Counter-Strike now. If they get any information, the inkling that there are numbers here on A, those B players will start to take some space.
I think Messi just went up heaven for a little bit of a look-see, and that might be him now leaning. Okay, so there are going to be 3 players here in defense if Messi can get through these choke point smokes, but they need a kill. They need a kill. There's one. Is that enough? I don't think so. And he could also overwhelm. No chance. Messi a little late to get out here. Might be able to do some further damage, but he's left exposed. This bomb's going down with 20 seconds left. This is a really tough retake to ask of Fnatic. Fasher attempts it. He gets his bell rung immediately. Crims now spotted. I mean, there's going to be no money. There's going to be no money to try and keep this into overtime. So Crims, he's going to try. He's going to try and be the hero. He's got a kit. No utility means he's just got to do it all with the guns. And as soon as he finds contact with Alexi B, that'll activate and they won't even need it. Alexi puts him down into the dirt. NiP 1 round away from closing this out.
Oh, they just can't get it right. Can't get it right. So much more passive on A. Messi is 2-3 seconds late on that rotate. If he's up there and he's holding long, Roy commits into Toilets. Him and Nikodos fight together into Toilets on the split. But they were just caught in the headlights. They didn't know where to look. And neither of them could pick correctly in the end. Oh, the buy is just devastating. Crims commits for a molly. He's trying to take a duel. He's already down to 36. Got no rifles in play. Crims has already hit the deck and nobody's nearby. This is looking like a map 3.
Looking like it. Smelling like it. Feeling like it. Chances have existed for Fnatic to get back in, but they've been unable to seize them. And NiP solidifying in a big way. Ancient will be the decider if we get there. And NiP just need 4 more kills. And they've made that possibility a reality.
Credit to Alexi. NiP have outmaneuvered Fnatic in these last 4, 5, 6 rounds. Nade onto Mezzi. Was that a nade stack? That's gotta hurt.
Doesn't exactly feel good. So now, I mean, wherever you go, it's not going to be too stiff of a defense, and you just know it. But they're still taking their time. 30 seconds left on the clock. Here comes the move. Seems like Monster's going to be the majority of this thrust, which means that you're going to need something from Nikodaz's Deagle, and you're going to get nothing. Fasha's stuck with an MP9. I'll catch a kill. That'll give him an upgrade. That gives him something to fight from, but he's immediately erased. And while Roy did find the lurker, that just gives him an AK with which to attempt this retake. Bomb down, ticking away. No kit means that Roy needs to move. Smoked off in heaven. No chance to get out there. So Graffiti will be the attempt. Utility, it's there, but it's not really very helpful. He's just going to have to make the moves. And a footstep on. An audio cue given away. Sets up head trick to seal the deal. NiP, a commanding overpass. Was a run of rounds from Fnatic there in the second half, but ultimately, as soon as control's taken back, NiP, they look like a different team.
Wheels just started to fall off. Fnatic, I get, was it probably 2 rounds?